Oh, yeah.
There's always been a mystery.
Oh, yeah, folks. It is time to get that day kick-started again. Good morning, folks. It is time for the chat. Go ahead and grab a seat. Pull you up a chair. Make sure your coffee's strong. Make sure your Bible is here. Make sure you're ready. Get your journal ready. We're going to be continuing our conversation in the 19th chapter of the book of 1 Samuel. Man, oh man, good morning. Got that music cranking this morning. Get that blood running through them veins. It is a good day. It is beautiful outside here in the heart of the Arkansas Delta. Thank you so much for making the chat part of your morning. As you get in, we want to encourage you to please go ahead and say hello. We want to know that you are here. Let us know that you're in here. And then we want to encourage you to please hit the share button. That's the share button right there on your screen. And what that does is that puts it out on your news feed. You want to be very specific where you share it and share it over to your news feed. That way your friends and your family can be a part of that. I see the Allen sneaking in here super duper early. Good morning, Allen family. Good morning. Good morning. Hope all is well in that big metropolis of Marianna, Arkansas this morning. Hey, good morning. Everybody come on in here. I'm going to try to sneak over and do a little sharing myself and get this thing out in a couple places and so that some of my squad can get in. Man, that coffee is pumping this morning. It's good stuff. So, how is everybody doing? Are y'all ready for this ridiculous frost that's coming tonight? I've been reading weather reports this morning. They're saying that parts of Arkansas could actually have snow later today. That is the most dumbest thing I think I have ever seen here in late April. It's just crazy. Now, obviously, those of us who are in the more southern counties of Arkansas will have a less of an opportunity to see it. But, here we are in St. Francis County. We're kind of on the borderline. Now, it does look like there's going to be some distinctly north of us, but my. I mean, for those of you who are getting on, have y'all ever seen this kind of cold this late in the season? I mean, here in Arkansas. Now, I think I shared yesterday, Denise and I spent 10 years, and Tabitha, we spent 10 years in Ohio, and so it was nothing to see massive amounts of snow. In May, June, there was no problem. And of course, we always had our first snow by Halloween. We were always, you just expected it. You knew that when harvest season came around and harvest time and we did the events on campus, there was going to be snow on the ground. Sometime, generally around homecoming. It was nothing for us to have snow on homecoming day. But, here in Arkansas, that's a whole other ballgame. As I saw this morning, we are expecting a distinct cold tonight. So if you've got plants, you want to really make sure they're covered, bring them inside. Obviously, pets, that's a no-brainer. You want to do that. But, there's just all kinds of things that we've got to, back up, rethink, and take care of. And so I just want to just caution you to make sure that you've got everything protected with all of that good stuff. Then they're saying, I mean, are you ready for this? They're saying wind chills even here in St. Francis County is going to be between 25 and 30 in the morning. Are you believing that? Wind chills, 25 to 30 here in the smack heart of the Arkansas Delta. That's the most craziest thing this preacher has ever seen. Hi, Debbie. Good morning, Debbie. Come on in here this morning. Grab your coffee, girl. Get your coffee coming on in here. Hey, today we're going to 1 Samuel chapter 19 today, and we're going to be covering verses, let me see here. I got them wrote down here. Verses 8 through 10. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and just write this down so that we know. And somebody needs to remind me, if you know where we're going, help me to post this so that way everybody can go ahead and get your Bibles turned over there. 1 Samuel 19, 8, 10. That's going to be our text today. So as everybody come on in here, say hello. Let me know who all is cruising with the preacher this morning. We have got a team of ladies that are on our campus right now. They are continuing the salvaging project of our flood disaster that took place 2 months ago. We are still trying to sort through things that we can keep, things that we will need to throw away, things that we will be, having to turn in to our insurance company. There is Mama Deanna Ramsey. I'll believe anything about Arkansas World. It's crazy. I remember big snow on the first day of spring. Good morning, good morning. There we go. How's things up on Ramsey Hill this morning? Hey, I got a bone to pick with y'all. Y'all posting pictures Sunday afternoon of some of the most ridiculous good-looking catfish dinner y'all had on Sunday. After church, y'all go home and y'all got this ridiculous amount of catfish and all the trimmings, and you did not invite your preacher. And I told Miss Denise, I said, I want you to look there. They have absolutely no love for their preacher. No catfish invitation. Girl, hey, I really hope y'all had a good time. It looked amazing. And there's nothing like all the crew getting together and having something like that, is it? I know y'all had a great time. Good morning, everybody. Come on in. As I see you, come on in. Glad you were here. Again, make sure you've got your coffee. Make sure that you have got your Bibles turned over to 1 Samuel 19. Your text has already been posted this morning. And make sure you have your journal. I hope that as we journey through this throughout the week, I hope that you are keeping a journal of our Bible studies. Man, just lots and lots and lots of good stuff. But we want to remember our ladies. Let's see here. Miss Mary Weddington is there. My bride is there. Kay Dooley is going to be there. And I think Gloria is going to be there. So all the ladies are still continuing on. And I just want to say a very big thank you to those ladies who are giving of their time and going up there and taking care of that for us and for the remodel team here of our church. They have taken on a very large task of sorting through that, and we are very much nearing the end of all of the sorting. And so I'm excited to say that. I'm excited to get this done. As your pastor, I will be glad to get our remodel done. We don't have a timeline. We simply don't know. But we are trying to get our campus back to where it needs to be as soon as possible. I know Gloria will be glad to get back in her office. Hi, Denny. We know that. And I love being able to work at home. I really do. I get a lot accomplished at home, but I miss being on the campus. I truly do. So it is going to be good to get back up there. So y'all just keep praying that all of that will move swiftly. Hey, I met with the deacons last night, and I'm just going to kind of give you a little teaser. We're going to be making some announcements on Sunday morning after the morning service that you are not going to want to miss. We have got some exciting things that we're planning. We believe God is now giving us direction to make some pretty monumental changes. And so we're overexcited really to come to you and to share with you what is going to be coming to Ridgewood over the next few weeks and couple of months. And so be sure that you are on campus on Sunday morning as we make these announcements. I may actually be able to make one tomorrow. I've got to kind of get my ducks in a row today, but we're hoping we can do that tomorrow. But we will be making several announcements on Sunday, and folks, it's time to get excited. There is some good things about to happen at Ridgewood. Lots of things are beginning to come together. The pieces of the puzzle, so to speak, are beginning to go together, and your pastor's excited. I'm ready, and so all the deacons are on board. We had a great meeting last night, and so we're all excited. We're all in unity. We're all ready to go, and so we are ready to share with you our good news. Tonight, Dr. Jones will be in the house tonight for Sunday school. His text, if you want to write this down, matter of fact, I'm going to type this in too. Our Sunday school text tonight, if you were not on campus Sunday, okay, and if you maybe do not have a Sunday school book, okay, here is our biblical text. We're going to be in Luke chapter 20, verses 9 through 19. And that is going to be tonight with Brother Larry. So we want to just encourage you to be back. That is at 7 o'clock. He and I will be here. And I will tell you now, he had an incredible lesson on Sunday, and it is just going to be a duplicate. If you were on campus and you sat through that, you are welcome to join us again for any type of input, conversation, or if you happen to not want to be there, that's fine too. We just want to make sure that everybody has the opportunity for Sunday school, whether it's on campus or online. This is one of my favorite parts of the week, is I love the Sunday school time, the online Sunday school that we do on Tuesday night. So that is tonight at 7 o'clock. So make sure that you're right here, same bat time, same bat channel. And we will get Brother Larry in here, and he will be continuing our study in the book of Luke. Tomorrow night at 6:30, we are really, really close to wrapping up the book of Galatians. We've got at least 2 weeks and maybe 3. 2 weeks for sure, but maybe 3. And then we're going to be out of the book of Galatians. And then maybe next week I'll be able to announce where we're going and what our next journey is going to be on Wednesday nights. I love our Wednesday night Bible studies. I do. We have a lot of fun. We have a lot of in-depth conversation. But man, oh man, oh man, what could we do next is kind of where I'm just seeking God's face at. But that's kind of what we look like this week. Tonight's Dr. Jones. Tomorrow night is going to be our online midweek service at 6:30. Coffee Chat's going to roll the rest of the week, no problem. When I get offline today, I am going to be at the campus, and I've got some things I'm going to help the ladies with. That I've got a couple of projects of my own up there, and so that is going to be my day. I had a great day yesterday, as I told you yesterday on the morning chat, that when I got offline, I was going to head to a associational meeting with one of the nominees for the SBC presidency. And I got to do that. It was a very intimate luncheon. I mean, there was just a small group of us pastors that were there. Dr. Spradling, the president of Mid-America Seminary, was there. It was just a great group of folks. And we were able to have a very personal conversation with this candidate. He really stands on the conservative side of leadership, conservative side of Scripture. And he shared with us his heart. He shared with us his vision for the SBC, and this is the national SBC. And it really opened it up to some great question and answer time. And I was thoroughly impressed. I had thought in my research that this was the man that we really need as our next SBC president. And after meeting with him and spending some quality time with him yesterday, I'm solid. This is the man. His name is Mike Stone. Mike Stone, Dr. Mike Stone. He is a pastor of a church in South Georgia. And so I'm just going to ask you, if you would, that you will begin to pray that God would open the doors for Brother Mike to be our next SBC president. So if you will do that and commit to that with me, I would sure enough appreciate it. There's no doubt that he stands on the inerrancy of Scripture. I mean, he is all about the Word. He's all about evangelism. I love it. I really do. When I heard his heart, I thought, oh yeah. This is the direction we need. So if you will pray with me that God will open that door for Brother Mike to be our next president, I would sure enough appreciate that. So all of that is going on. All of that's in the SBC. Let's see here. Sunday, man, we are still deep into 1 Peter. I hope you're enjoying our study in 1 Peter. So all of that's going on. If you need me, obviously you can reach out to me and Gloria any way that you can. And we are here. Like I said, I'm going to be in town the rest of the day. Our morning scripture for today, April the 20th, about overcoming anxiety, is coming to us out of Joshua. This very familiar passage of scripture, but let's look at this now in the context of helping us overcome anxiety. And this is what we have. It says, have I not commanded you? Be strong and of good courage. Do not be afraid, nor be dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. You just think about that for a minute. Wherever you go. And it's not about getting in your vehicle and going to, location A or location B or anything like that. This is whatever is going on in your life. This is wherever you may go, whether you're in the valleys or whether you're on the mountaintops, whether the world is crashing around you or whether everything is absolutely running as perfect as it could be. He is always there. Don't ever forget that. What a great scripture today as we talk about overcoming anxiety. All right, folks, grab your Bibles. We're headed back over to take a look at our continuing story of David and King Saul. Man, this is good stuff, right? All right, let's see here. We're going to pick up at verse number 8. So we're in chapter 19. Chapter 19, and we're going to pick up at verse 8. Give you a chance to get over there. Make sure you got your Bibles open and all that good stuff. Okay, verse 8. The first statement is really pretty interesting. Okay, the very first statement that we have here says this, and there was war again. You see that? And there was war again. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to underline that statement, maybe highlight it, get ready to make some notes beside that, because that simple statement is a very telling statement of what was soon to take place. It has a twofold, or what we might call a bifold connotation to it. But you have to look deep to see both things. And there was war again. When we read that topic, or read that statement rather, we can pretty much imagine that a battle is about to take place, a true war on the battlefield. For example, and we know right now that we're in the heart of this Israel-Philistine war that's continuing to go on. Up until this point, David has led Israel against the Philistines each time to mighty victories. This is why his popularity has been so good. But things had been at a lull. And last week, if you remember the whole conversation between Jonathan and his dad, the king, about David, he stood in the gap for David. And we saw that King Saul had a change of heart, that God did work, and that Saul had made a commandment. You remember this? That as the Lord lives, he shall not be killed. I mean, this was a big deal in all of Israel. Okay, and then we get this statement, and there was war again. Okay, let's keep going. And David went out and fought with the Philistines and struck them with a mighty blow, and they fled from him. Okay. Somewhere along the line, there was this ceasefire that was going on. All right. We don't know how long, but there had been this, it wasn't so much this peace agreement, but there was this ceasefire. But now then, the battle has begun again. David goes out, and David, being David, okay, being the man that he is, that God has chosen, he goes out, leads his men, he leads the Israelite army. He fought with them. He struck them with a mighty blow. When you see that word mighty blow here, that word mighty defines it. It's okay to go out and be victorious in battle. But when you see this word that comes in here that describes it as mighty, we need to understand something. There was serious destruction that went on to the Philistines in this war. We don't know the body count. All we know that whatever took place really put the Philistine army in shambles. And who was leading it? But our guy David. Now, if you remember, okay? If you remember, prior to yesterday's conversation that we looked at with Jonathan, okay, it was David's success that fueled Saul's anger. I mean, you remember? I mean, he come back. He was victorious. The ladies all throughout Israel were coming out. They were singing. And they were praising David, and it made it appear that David was greater than Saul. And then, he has to go out and he does all of this for the dowry for his wife. Saul asked for 100 foreskins of Israel, of the Philistines. And what does David do? He goes out and he brings back 200 foreskins. And so the popularity, the success of David fueled the jealousy and the envy, the hatred, the bitterness of Saul. And so we see this, and there was war again. Here's the second fold. Not only was there physical war that we just saw, that David went out and he led the Israelites and he dealt the Philistines a mighty blow, okay? The second war is now spiritual. Because we're about to see this distressing spirit come back upon Saul. And the war was taking place inside Saul. And so what was calm in yesterday's text during this supposed ceasefire that we can pretty much assume, the anger returns. War has returned. Let's keep going. Now the distressing spirit from the Lord came upon Saul as he sat in his house. Now look at this. With his spear in his hand. We've seen this before. Why is it? I mean, have you asked yourself this question? Why is it that when this guy is being literally chewed up and spit out by this distressing spirit, that he has to have a spear in his hand? Now, I'm one of those guys that I've got to have something going on in my hands at all time when I'm studying. I've got little gadgets and gadgets all over my desk. One of my favorite things is this. It's 3 magnetic rings, okay? And I can do all kinds of things with these bad boys. You see? I can put them together like this. They're basic fidget spinners, and I've got those as well. I love something because my hands are busy while I'm thinking, while I'm praying, while I'm processing, while I'm studying. And so I have this. This is one thing. Saul has to have a spear. Have y'all caught that? I mean, this dude has to have a major weapon of war in his hands. Bizarre. It's absolutely bizarre. Now, you also got to remember, this is not your average sized man. Saul is huge. Saul, we know, was head and shoulders above every other man in Israel. So this is a massive guy. So he needs something massive in his hands to occupy that space. He has a spear. Totally bizarre. Let's keep going. Now the distressing spirit from the Lord came upon Saul as he sat in his house with his spear in his hand, and David was playing music with his hand. So we've got this exact same image that we had a few days ago. The distressing spirit came back upon Saul. And what happens? They go get David, because it's David and his harp that was used to calm Saul. He's already back from war. He's already gone out and dealt the Philistines a mighty blow. He's already come back victorious. Chances are there's been parties and celebrations because of that victory. Chances are there's already been people singing and dancing in the streets celebrating David, because that is now their habit as they are celebrating the victor here. Distressing spirit comes upon Saul. They go get David. He grabs his harp. That's all he has. Look here. Was playing music with his hand. So this tells us, okay, we have to understand that this statement tells us that he has a musical instrument in his hand and not a weapon. Saul has a spear. David has a harp. He does not have a weapon of any kind. He does not have a spear. He does not have a javelin. He does not have a sword. He does not have even your small battle sword. Okay? He doesn't have it at all. He has a heart. Incredible that we understand this. Then, verse 10, then Saul sought to pin David to the wall with a spear. In other words, this crazy king, just like we've already seen, has got this thing coming right back into his mind that I'm going to kill David. I'm going to do it. I'm not going to let this go. You see, here's the thing. This just didn't happen overnight, okay? This has been something that's going on. This is something that Saul can't control. Have you caught this? I mean, he does not have his temptation under control. He was not prepared to handle temptation. I mean, hey, I got this spirit that's bothering me. Normally, the music playing by this guy that's over here calms me down. But now that I'm just so angry at him, all I want to do is kill him. He could not handle temptation at all. He was unprepared to get on those texts. Okay, just or those attacks rather. He was unprepared for those spiritual attacks, and so I have to ask us this morning: are we prepared to handle temptation? Are we ready when we roll out of bed in the morning for anything temptation-wise, spiritual attack-wise, that comes our way? Are we ready for those attacks to be able to simply say, not today, Satan, it ain't happening in my house. Not today. Are we able to understand the real battles that are going on out here? Are we able to understand what is put in front of us just quite possibly could be too good to be true? Are you and I prepared to handle temptation? Are we prepared to handle spiritual attacks? And I'm going to tell you, there's a whole lot more to this conversation that we really need to have, because we have spiritual attacks every day, whether we realize it or not. You and I, as believers, are in a daily battle, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We're in spiritual battles even when we sleep. You realize that? It's in our minds. Are we prepared for those? And you see, here's the thing. He was not prepared. And sin was literally at his fingertips, because David was right there. And his anger was overwhelming. His jealousy was raging. He could not handle it. He just couldn't handle it. And so what happened? But he slipped away from Saul's presence, and he drove the spear into the wall. Okay? Now, the last time we saw it, we saw that he literally threw it. This time, he's holding. And it's literally as though he runs at David. He didn't want to miss David this time. He was not taking a chance. The anger now has reached a new level. It's now out of control. And so what he had said, and we covered yesterday, that you remember when he said, as the Lord lives, he shall not be killed, talking about David, he just broke his own oath. The king broke his own oath. You see, the one thing that Saul didn't need was his spear. And here it is, stuck in the wall. The one thing that he did need was David. And David is now gone. Scripture says, so David fled and escaped that night. Okay, here's the thing. Here's the thing. When David left that night, he never returned back to the king's palace until he was the next king. We're looking at some 20 years now. From that day till he becomes king is a window of time of about 20 years. And during this time, Saul is going to remain king, but he is also going to remain with David being number one on his most wanted list. He sought David to kill David from that moment on. That was his primary target. David was in essence a fugitive. But we know David was not going to be denied the throne. It was all coming. The rise of David, the demise of Saul continues. Guys, that's all I've got today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me as we continue our journey. We'll be right back here tomorrow as we continue picking up at verse 11 in the book of 1 Samuel. If you get out today, please be careful. Have tons of fun. It is a beautiful day. Sun's shining. Wind's blowing just a little bit. And the birds are out. Squirrels are going crazy out here in my yard. And man, oh man, oh man. Today is a good day to tell somebody about Jesus, okay? Remember, it's going to get cold tonight, so make sure your heater might be on in your house. You don't want to get cold. Bring plants in, bring pets in, all of that good stuff, and it's going to be super duper cold in the morning. Wind chills in the high 20s, early 30s is what's going to be on. I am out of here. I'm going to sneak over here, and I'm going to hit that switch right there, and I'm going to hit that button right there. Give us a little bit of juice on the way out the door. If you need anything, you know how to find me. You can reach out to me. I love you guys tons. I'll see you tonight, 7 o'clock. Me, Dr. Jones. See you. Bye-bye.